US F-22 fighter jets have intercepted 2 Russian Il-38 aircraft entering the Alaskan Air Defense Identification Zone, as officials say they wanted to see if we are able to react amid the coronavirus pandemic. The U.S. Air Force jets, supported by a KC-135 Stratodniker and E-3 AWACS aircraft, made the interception on Wednesday in the Bering Sea. The Russian aircraft were spotted north of the Aleutian Islands and did not enter United States or Canadian sovereign airspace, according to the North American Aerospace Defense Command. NORAD. COVID-19 or not, NORAD continues actively watching for threats and defending the homelands 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year, NORAD Commander said General Terence J. O'Shaughnessy, said in a statement. This is the latest of several occasions in the past month in which we have intercepted Russian aircraft operating near Alaska in the approaches to our nations. We are and will continue executing our no-fail homeland defense missions with the same capability and capacity we always bring to the fight. Last month, 2 NORAD planes, which included American F-22 stealth fighters and Canadian F-18 jets, escorted 2 Russian Tu-142s during their 4-hour flight. Military officials said in March that the Russian jets never left international airspace but did come within 50 nautical miles, or 57 miles, of Alaska's northern coast at one point. Russian fighters coming this close to North America is common, averaging up to 7 times a year since Russia began the practice again in 2007. The US also flies bombers near Russian airspace in the Baltic and Black Seas. O'Shaughnessy spoke to Fox and Friends host Brian Kilmeade Wednesday. When asked why the Russians would fly a mission so close to the United States after the COVID-19 outbreak, O'Shaughnessy replied, "They wanted to see if we are able to react. Are we prepared or impacted by the virus? Do we have any vulnerabilities?" Russia had reported 10,131 coronavirus cases by Thursday afternoon and 76 related deaths. In the U.S. there were more than 363,800 cases and 15,700 deaths. Russian maritime reconnaissance aircraft are really interested in an ongoing U.S. submarine exercise near Alaska known as ICEX. The spy planes have been intercepted 3 times this week by U.S. and Canadian aircraft, according to the U.S. military. On Saturday, North American Aerospace Defense Command said F-22s, KC-135 Stratodnikers and E-3 Sentry aircraft intercepted 2 pairs of Russian Tu-142 maritime reconnaissance aircraft near Alaska. NORAD said the Russian aircraft came within 45 nautical miles of Alaskan coast over the Beaufort Sea but never entered U.S. or Canadian sovereign airspace. The Russian recon planes entered the west and north of Alaska with the western pair of spy planes flying within the Alaskan Air Defense Identification Zone for 4 hours. The recon planes loitered around the ICEX submarine exercise followed by F-22s. NORAD said the northern pair of Russian planes remained in the Indus for 15 minutes with F-22s on their wing. This is the second and third time this week that incursions into our air defense identification zones were met and escorted by NORAD fighters, Gen. Terence J. O'Shaughnessy, the NORAD commander, said in a release. We continue to see repeated Russian military aviation activity in the Arctic, and we will defend the U.S. and Canada against these threats emanating from our northern approaches, O'Shaughnessy said on March 9. A pair of Russian recon aircraft were intercepted by NORAD while spying on the ICEX sub-exercises. Those aircraft came within 50 nautical miles of the Alaskan coast. O'Shaughnessy told lawmakers on Capitol Hill Wednesday the Russian aircraft loitered about 2,500 feet above a camp that was built for the submarine exercise known as Camp Sea Dragon. He said the Russian aircraft loitered with an F-22 and an F-18 on their wing. ICEX is a 3-week biennial exercise that allows the U.S. to assess the readiness of its submarines to operate in the Arctic. 2 submarines, the Seawolf-class fast attack submarine Connecticut and the Los Angeles-class fast attack submarine Toledo, are participating in this year's ICEX. ICEX officially kicked off March 4th following the creation of Sea Dragon. The camp is built on a multi-year ice floe in the Arctic and supports people participating in the exercise and serves as a temporary command post for the exercise. ICEX 2020 is the 96th iteration of the training event. The Arctic is a potential strategic corridor between Indo-Pacific, Europe, and the U.S. homeland for expanded competition, Vice ADM Daryl Caudle, commander of submarine forces, said in a news release. The submarine force must maintain readiness by exercising in Arctic conditions to ensure they can protect national security interests and maintain favorable balances of power in the Indo-Pacific and Europe if called upon, Caudle said in the release. O'Shaughnessy told lawmakers the intercept of the Russian aircraft highlighted a need to maintain the ability to react appropriately by having persistent defense and domain awareness to potentially defeat the threat. That means knowing what's coming in or near U.S. and allied sovereign airspace and having the ability to react to that threat, not just deploying forces to the region when they need to get up there, O'Shaughnessy said.